Welcome to MacArthur Woods, part of the Southern Des Plaines River Preserves. The Woodland Habitat Restoration Project will encourage the next generation of oaks. Oak communities are in decline across the Midwest, including the Chicago region. Over 88% of oak-dominated woodlands have been lost in Lake County alone since 1890. This loss is due to fragmentation from development, a lack of fire disturbance, and an overall increase in tree density causing shade in the understory and inhibiting the growth of young oaks and other plant species. Selective thinning of the overstory trees will occur at Granger Woods, Captain Daniel Wright Woods, and MacArthur Woods this winter. This selective thinning will increase light availability at ground level, encouraging the growth of young oaks from seedlings to saplings. In addition, this increased light availability will improve the overall biodiversity of the plants and animals that rely on these communities to survive.
The woods we're in now, there's about 10% canopy openness. So it's a pretty closed canopy. Oak woodlands we tend to think of as having more like 30 to 50% canopy openness. So a much more open canopy is needed for oaks to be successful at regenerating. So oaks need a lot of light in order to grow successfully and reach into the canopy. Right now we don't have those light conditions. So what we're hoping to do, and what we would like to see from an oak regeneration standpoint, is a much more open canopy that's more in line with what we call the historic range of variability. So that's not necessarily to say that we're trying to get back to a specific historic condition, but what we're trying to do is make the ecosystems around here be more in line with those historic conditions and the way that the landscape worked prior to being converted into an urban landscape.
Oaks and other shade-intolerant trees are important to migratory birds because there's a growing amount of scientific evidence that migratory birds use them to forage. So migration to a small bird is a very energetically taxing process. As the birds are flying north, they're burning a huge amount of energy and they need to stop often to forage. Recent studies have shown that birds that stop in oaks and other shade-intolerant trees are able to find more insects than they are if they are forced to stop in woodlands that are composed mostly of shade-tolerant trees, such as maples.
Historically, over 60% of Lake County supported oak-dominated communities. In the last 150 years alone, over 150,000 acres of oak-dominated communities have been lost. We've talked a lot about forest and woodland communities. Forests are defined by 80 to 100% canopy cover, whereas woodlands are defined by 50 to 80% canopy cover. Here at Elm Road Woods, part of Captain Daniel Wright Woods Forest Preserve, we have an area that historically was woodland, but is now of forest structure. In addition to that change in tree density and canopy cover, which affects the light conditions at the ground level, we also see a change in composition. Portions of Elm Road Woods show a very significant increase in sugar maple abundance. Small sugar maples are growing in the understory where oaks once grew. These sugar maples will take the place of oaks in the canopy in the future if management is not conducted to reduce sugar maple abundance and increase light levels in the understory, allowing for small oaks to grow up into the canopy. The Woodland Habitat Restoration Project is important to the conservation of oak communities in Lake County and will add to the scientific understanding of woodland restoration in the Chicago region and beyond. The goals are broad-reaching and long-term. The work over the next 10 years will ensure the sustainability of oak communities and the wildlife they support for many generations of Lake County residents to come.